Authorities confirmed the alleged ringleader of the Paris attack was killed in a raid. We're tracking the search for the second suspect.
Police say a man traveled to Kentucky to meet a 13-year-old girl. You may be surprised to find out how officers caught him.
He admits it's a dangerous job, but a police officer shot in the line of duty says it won't stop him from returning to the streets. He talks exclusively to WKYT.
This is WKYT News at 5.
Good afternoon to you. We now know the ringleader of last week's terror attacks in Paris was among those killed in a raid outside the city. Another man believed to have been involved remains on the run.
As the search continues for him, French lawmakers are considering what to do to keep the country safe. Kenneth Craig has the latest in our top story at 5.
French authorities confirmed the suspected ringleader of the Paris attacks was killed during a raid early yesterday morning. A fingerprint made the match to Abdelhamid Aboud.
We feel a bit safer, but it's like it's not finished. There might be other people who want to attack us.
Fugitive Salah Abdeslam is still on the loose. Belgian police posted a video message warning the public he's dangerous and likely armed. The Daily Mail obtained this video showing a gunman opening fire on a restaurant during the attacks. At one point, he aims his rifle at a woman and then walks away.
The Senate will consider a measure Friday to extend the state of emergency here for 3 more months. The lower house of parliament has already given it the green light.
The measure would expand police powers and allow authorities to restrict people's movements. Residents and tourists are still gathering in central Paris. This group of Iranian women came to show support for the French and condemn the attacks.
What happened in Paris last week has nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do with Islam.
France and Belgium are asking their European neighbors to tighten border security and gun laws.
It was Kenneth Craig reporting. 8 people arrested in the raid that killed the attack ringleader will stay in custody for at least another day.
A man faces more than 100 charges after police say he traveled to Kentucky to meet a 13-year-old girl he found online. Berea police took 19-year-old Brandon Johnson into custody yesterday. As WKYT's Victor Puente shows us, police made the arrest after Johnson showed up at the girl's school.
Berea police tell me the man they've charged in this case has admitted to coming to Kentucky to meet a 13-year-old girl. They say the pictures the two of them shared has led to more than 150 charges for him.
It was staff at Foley Middle School who called police. They say a man waiting near the front of the building told school workers he was waiting on a student.
So they called us immediately, and this gentleman told us that he was there to meet his girlfriend.
Reed says 19-year-old Brandon Johnson told police he had taken a Greyhound bus from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
He had admitted to everything. She's 13 years old, and they have been exchanging inappropriate photos and videos.
Police say they found dozens of pictures on his and the girl's cell phones. Johnson is now charged with 50 counts each of use of a minor in a sexual performance, using an electronic device to solicit a minor, and possessing a matter portraying a sexual performance by a minor. Reed says the girl's parents had no idea about her online relationship, but urges parents to be vigilant with their children's online activities.
You know, what they're doing on the internet, what they're doing on their cell phones. There's so many apps out there that parents aren't even aware of.
Police say while that girl did share photos with Johnson, they don't have any intention of charging her because she's the victim in this case. In Madison County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Johnson is also charged with 1 count of distributing obscene matter to a minor. State police have started an investigation involving a high school basketball team. Police say they're looking into allegations of inappropriate behavior involving players at Powell County High School. The school administration has not commented. We're told the school system does plan to release a statement on the investigation.
He credits a single button with saving his life. Today, we're hearing from a Prestonsburg police officer shot in the line of duty. The shooting happened during a standoff in early October. Sergeant Adam Dixon says it highlights the dangers officers face. In a WKYT exclusive, he tells our Hillary Thornton why it still will not keep him away from patrolling the streets of his community.
You know, somebody kind of explained it as, you know, man, it was like the whole town just kind of stopped. It was a routine traffic stop that led Prestonsburg Police Sergeant Adam Dixon on a chase up Abbott Creek, ending at this home where Robert Powers ran inside, armed with a gun.
Anybody who gets in this job has to know in the back of their mind that any type of situation like that is a possibility. They have to know.
Backup arriving for Dixon. According to testimony given in court, the officers then tased Powers, but that was unsuccessful. Powers reached for his gun, shooting at the officers, hitting 30-year-old Dixon in the chest.
The uniform buttons that we wear on our shirt, actually in the middle of the Commonwealth Kentucky seal, there's a dent.
That single button deflecting the bullet, guiding it to a place that many feel saved Dixon's life.
That the bullet actually struck that, which where that button sets is right would be to about the right side of where the wound actually is.
Lodging in his sternum without hitting anything else. Awake and alert through the whole thing, Dixon remembers waiting to be airlifted in the back of an ambulance.
Anything I could do to stay calm during the whole thing. And everybody would kind of look in and say something, and then I'd make a joke, and they'd be like, oh, well, he's all right.
He's a lucky man. He's a lucky man.
That is the common sentiment surrounding the hometown officer, eternally grateful, but something Dixon, now wearing that button around his neck,
it's got some sentimental value,
says is difficult to deal with, considering just weeks later, his brother in blue, Richmond officer Daniel Ellis, was shot in the head.
I was like, hopefully he's going to be as lucky as I was. That's what I kept hoping and praying for.
Dixon remembers then getting the news that Ellis would not survive his injuries.
You can't help but to first ask, why was I so lucky? And I don't know the answer to that.
He began learning about Raleigh Sizemore, charged with the shooting of Officer Ellis. Both Sizemore and Powers have lengthy criminal backgrounds. According to state records, since 2006, Powers has faced numerous charges ranging from drug possession to burglary. However, never spending any significant time in jail.
And I understand that one way it's looked at is saving money through the state and how much it costs to incarcerate people. But sometimes you can't really put a price tag on the people of the Commonwealth safety. Repeat offenders that's out isn't just pose a danger just to law enforcement officers, it's everybody. Every time that they're incarcerated for a nonviolent offense, you can't help but to think, well, once they're out, what do they, if they have a drug problem or if they steal or something like that, where do they stop?
Thankful for his community during this all, also thankful for all of his brothers and sisters who wear the uniform, many living out their dream job like Dixon, making sacrifices we may never understand.
The job itself is always a rewarding one. It can be. I'm not going to say it's not dangerous, because it is, but it's also very, very difficult.
A job he says he is looking forward to continuing.
As soon as I get released and get back to work, if hopefully that's sooner than later. So
you're ready to get back out there?
Yeah, I'm ready to get back. Just not for me, but for my other officers that work here.
In Prestonsburg, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Very, very lucky, as she said. Since Dixon was shot, all Prestonsburg police officers must wear their safety vests. As you heard during that story, Officer Dixon raised concerns about repeat offenders, including the man accused of killing Richmond police officer Daniel Ellis. And tonight at 6, an exclusive WKYT investigation. Despite a lengthy criminal history, why was suspected killer Raleigh Sizemore paroled from prison? We've obtained recordings from his parole hearing, and you may be surprised by what you hear. That's coming up at 6. The Cats returning to Rupp Arena tomorrow night.
Wright State is coming to town. WKYT's Rob Bromley's here now with a preview of that matchup. Hi, Rob.
Hello, and John Calipari is having a fantastic week, wrapping up the #1 recruiting class in the country with the addition of a couple of 5-star players and, of course, that 11-point victory over Duke sandwiched in between. The Cats are now back home for a couple of games, starting with Wright State tomorrow night. Obviously, guard play was good against Duke, but he said his team still needs to learn how to crack down on the backboard.
Because we're a shot blocking team, you're going to have teams come in and just throw it over the shot blocker. Don't even worry about making it. And you have to have weak side crackdowns. The guards have got to get in there and mix it up. And we worked on it for 3 weeks because I knew this game was coming up and I knew how they would play. And the first part of the game, they got like 4 of them, right? And that's what young kids do. So we'll continue to work on that.
So it is back home tomorrow night, Wright State. It will be an 8 o'clock tip-off, the game televised by the SEC Network. Coming up in sports, we'll hear from freshman Isaac Humphries, who came off the bench against Duke, looked pretty good on the big stage in Chicago Tuesday night.
Rob, thank you. The Cats have won 187 of their last 214 home games. It is quite a record in Rupp Arena.